Hello and a warm welcome to TROMP 2020, the online edition. My name is Ab Nieuwdorp. I'm a presenter for Dutch classical radio and television. TROMP started in the year 1970. Mr. Theo Tromp was the vice president of Philips here in Eindhoven, and he was fundamental for the organization of a new competition devoted to young musicians, a competition to be held every 2 years. In these past 50 years, TROMP has grown from a chamber music festival and competition to a competition solely for percussionists, and that happened in the year 2010, and the name was TROMP Percussion Eindhoven. In the last 10 years, many young percussionists from all over the world came here in Eindhoven in the Muziekgebouw to showcase their talents, performance, and artistic abilities. In this online documentary, I'm going to talk with many of the finalists of the past 10 years, and I'm going to talk to the founding fathers of TROMP Percussion Eindhoven. It's an ongoing journey, and I'm happy and glad that you all are watching this online documentary. And here with me on the stage of the Muziekgebouw Eindhoven, two of the founding fathers, I think the founding fathers of TROMP Percussion Eindhoven. Arthur van der Drift, General Manager of TROMP Percussion, and Frank Veenstra, Artistic Director of both the Muziekgebouw and TROMP. Gentlemen, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you during TROMP, the online festival 2020. Arthur, starting with you, can you take us back to 2010 and the first steps of this festival and competition?
Yes, in 2010 we decided to focus exclusively on percussion for the competition. Before, from 1990 to 2000, and from 2000 to 2010, it was alternating between percussion and string quartet. Mm-hmm. And in 2010, the idea was to continue with percussion only, because there were not so many competitions yet focusing on solo percussion exclusively. There were some marimba competitions, still are, but not from all over the range setup, marimba, melodic instruments and so on. So we decided to continue there, because it was important to have a special competition for that on a regular basis. And in the world, in 10 years, we built up some importance for our competition. And also the festival we organize around the competition. It's more interesting to do that around rhythm and percussion. And we think there is more variety possible and to have a more interesting festival. And maybe Frank Veenstra can tell more about the festival we are organizing around the competition.
Yes, I will. Well, actually, the instrument or the instruments themselves are very rewarding to build a program with it, and also this diversity of instruments, brings in all kinds of genres. It's not only classical music. Mm-hmm. Of course, the competition itself focuses on classical music, but the festival around it is also about rock music, pop music, jazz, world, anything you can imagine. And also important to mention is that, central topic, the percussion as an instrument, is developed mm-hmm. quite recently in the long way of classical music over centuries. Mm-hmm. And this is also important for us as Muziekgebouw, as well as the city of Eindhoven, who is also developing itself in the past decades and being one of the most innovative places around the Netherlands, maybe around the globe. So this really suits each other, and it also develops our profile as a concert hall, and of course the profile of TROMP Percussion itself.
So it's part of the DNA of the city,
exactly,
the industry, and of course of this beautiful building.
Exactly, yeah, yes.
Innovation. Arthur, you had to sort of perhaps reinvent. You came from string quartets and you went to percussion in 2010. Any hurdles you had to take back then?
Yeah, first of all, we had to bring the competition on the stage as being important in the percussion world, which is quite a big network actually. But you first have to gain importance to see if it's possible to get your position as a competition where winners can do something with their career afterwards, because that is very important for us. To not only give prizes to winners and then there you go, thank you, bye-bye. No, we want to follow them. And this is what we had to develop also within the networks worldwide, to see if there are performances possible, promotion, also give them some teaching positions, to do some master classes all over the world and bring them to the percussion hubs there are on conservatories in the world. So this is what we try to develop by becoming more internationally oriented. And another thing, which were not exactly hurdles to take, but what we thought was important to do, is to develop the repertoire further. So we always commission 2 composers for every competition to write a special piece. So every time for the semifinals to have a new solo work for percussion, and for the finals to have a new work for a concerto, so orchestra or chamber orchestra and percussion solo. So now we extended the repertoire for percussion, and this is also an important role we take into this percussion world, we think.
And there's also another role, I think, as well. Feel free to add. What I remember from presenting the finals of the TROMP Percussion Eindhoven here the past few years is also the atmosphere in the audience, the hall, the host families, and also the competitors, the percussionists amongst each other. I introduce you as the founding fathers of TROMP Percussion. Well, I can imagine that you also feel, in a way, fatherly towards your young percussionists. Anyone who would like to add or comment on that?
No. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Both of you, of course.
Yes, maybe I start with that. Fatherly, well, it's also the atmosphere of Eindhoven, because this atmosphere was there already when we decided to continue as a percussion competition.
Yeah.
So TROMP Biennial was already very hospitable, and also this hosting families we had from the Friends of TROMP, a very important group of friends from Eindhoven who follow us already since the start, 50 years ago actually.
Yeah.
And then they take this hospitality to bring in the participants to their houses to host them and to be as a father or mother or family actually for the participants. So this has to do with TROMP, also the hospitality of the city of people in the city of Eindhoven, maybe in the southern part of the Netherlands. We say that's more hospitable, actually, and this tradition is still continuing. So it's very important also the atmosphere next to the competition itself. The atmosphere of bringing musicians and professionals together and being able to listen to each other is very important.
Yeah, because also in the documentary, of which we are now part, the online documentary, we will meet with the winners of the past 10 years, and they all, I can guarantee you, speak lovingly, not only about you, but also about the atmosphere, and they love to come back in person, but also online. Also, Frank, because I think your building, the Muziekgebouw, gives them also carte blanche. They can actually be all over the place. This is their building for, what is it, 10 days or something?
Yeah, definitely. And well, speaking of which, our 2014 winner, Dominique Fleshuis, is, well, really close to us. He's really like family. And we've decided to not only give him all kinds of opportunities during his first weeks and months and years after he won the competition, but we're also now working on a regular basis with him trying to build up a series of percussion concerts through the whole season. It's called The World of Rhythm. So next to the competition and the festival, we also try to develop with, well, one of our most famous winners, to make a series of programs. So he's also developing himself as a programmer, as a not only a musician but also someone who really produces all kinds of concerts. And well, for example, we had a huge success in 2018, I think, with Marching and Breaking, where Dominic and we built up a great show with, well, famous people like Martin Grubinger, but also the Ruggeds, a breakdance group from Eindhoven, and bring in a fanfare. And this was, it was magnificent to see that that this all comes from just the competition.
Yeah. Innovation is something you mentioned as part of the festival, the competition, and this city and the building. Innovation is also a part, I think, of the DNA of the percussionist in a way. Both you are nodding. Any comments from one of you about innovation and the percussionist?
Yeah, they are always used to organize things. Percussionists have to organize their instruments. They cannot just sit down and play on a piano or so. They have to always arrange the stage for them. And they are also very skillful, we have noticed, in works where there are some electronics involved. Also, when there is some theater involved, theatrical movements and so on. So to extend the repertoire of percussion, but also the innovation within classical music and other music repertoire is very important with percussionists, and they're always very used to doing these things, to innovate within their performance. And so it's part of their DNA as well.
Yeah, to say. And of course this year we have the online edition due to COVID-19. Any insights in the urgency also? Because that's also another word. There is an urgency to, of course, to vouchsafe this festival and the competition, but also via the online element this year, urgency.
Well, we decided to develop in close collaboration with the Armenian competition an app to make things possible. Looking to the reactions of all the competitors, they immediately say, yes, we're going to do this. This has to happen. So there is a lot of urgency amongst us, of course, but also amongst the competitors. And also we were thinking, how can we make this work in the finals, for example? How can we think of a new way of presenting our vinyl, knowing that it's most likely that they can get to Eindhoven? So we came up with this idea of developing a hologram. So in the finals, you'll see the three finalists as an hologram in a live situation. So it's not a hologram of the whole piece and the whole spectacle, but it's the Asko Schoenberg Ensemble performing the compulsory piece of the finals, composed by the American composer Judd Greenstein. But you'll see, let's say, a sort of semi-live situation with a live ensemble, and in the midst of them, a hologram of all three finalists. So, yeah, we as you said, we feel quite a sense of urgency to make things happen.
Yeah. Urgency also in artistic respect as well, Arthur?
Yes, and also to actually do the finals. That is also very important artistically, but also for the participants themselves, because we decided some months ago we have to do the competition in any case, whatever happens. So that's why we started developing the app and doing this online situation, and also thought of having a very special finals being very interesting for the people who see it also online, but also to have the opportunity for the participants to continue, to have something they could focus upon. Because for many musicians, this year is lost. So there are hardly any concerts they can do. Some of our participants are still at the conservatoires and they hardly have any lessons anymore, but now they can still focus on this program they have to do for TROMP, and also they can still win prizes. So we think that's still also in this time of COVID-19 still important to do and to have on offer.
Yeah. We talked about the present, the online festival with hologram as well, and the past, of course, the last 10 years. In this documentary, we're going to meet the finalists of the previous decade. Both of you, could you please give us also a vision of the future, or a wishful vision of the future of TROMP?
Yeah. It's hard to tell, but we are still confident to have a future, of course, and yeah, well, I hope we will have let's say a variety of young musicians. In the way we developed the festival in the past 10 years, if you look at the winners, they are so diverse. Well, you could say Dominic is the producer, maybe Kai is the most classical one, Alexandre, he's really a music theater guy. So yeah, I hope we continue in this way where we have really different personalities and musicians that are on the edge of developments, and bring this to the competition, to Eindhoven, and we'll hopefully stay as a front runner festival as well as a competition that's really in the forefront of things.
Yeah, and we hope to learn something also from this year's experiences. But suddenly we have lots of technical extras and bells and whistles, and we maybe try to develop this into something that we can still use in future, and that we continue on further sharpening the way we present percussion, and to also develop that into a certain direction where we can add something to the experience and to broaden it for a wider audience. So I think that is what we see in future. Yeah.
So it still is a march towards victory,
yes,
an ongoing
exactly.
process
Exactly.
of innovation, hope and confidence.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Frank Veenstra and Arthur van der Drift, TROMP Percussion 2020.
Thank you.
And now it's time to go way back 10 years ago, Eindhoven 2010, and the winner of TROMP Percussion was Alexei Gerasimez. And he's here now also online. Hello, Alexei, how are you?
Hello, thanks, I'm very well. Thank you for having me.
Winning TROMP Percussion in 2010, what was the impact it had on your life as a percussionist?
I think one of the most important things, though I think there were two things that were very important for me. The first thing was that it gave me the sureness that I was on the right path, and the right way, that what I was doing was the right way. And this is very important for you because you're young and you're doing the stuff, but you're not sure like how is the impact on other people. So it opened up so many doors, and especially my creative thinking, and was like, okay, this was the right direction. The other thing was that TROMP has a great community where like all the percussionists who are doing the competition, they're well connected, and I have a lot of friends and a connection during this competition I won there, and I still have connections with a lot of people there, and this community is very strong worldwide and very, very shattering, and we communicate a lot, and that's amazing, and this, I think, one of the most important things for me.
Mm-hmm. Those were, I think, 2 of the 3 points you wanted to mention. You had another one.
Oh, 2, yeah. So was it 3 point? I think I said 2 points.
Okay, then
But there's so many more, you know.
we'll find another point. No, but
Yes, we will.
talking about the confirmation that you were on the right path as a young percussionist in 2010. Talk about the path you're taking at the moment in 2020, Alexei. What is it like?
I mean, it's troubling time, but it's very exciting for me because I'm working on almost only projects that I really want to do, and this is especially working with people which I admire and people I like to play with and I like to learn, and also giving me the opportunity to write and compose pieces that I would like to play, and I would like to play with these people. And I'm currently working on the project with a very well-known guy. It's Emil Kuyumkayan. He won just a couple of years ago, and we are playing a project with the Yusen brothers. So we're playing all these pieces for 2 pianos and 2 percussionists, and it's a very new project. And we're working on this, and this is something that happens also because of Trump, because of the connections I made there, and this very nice community.
Can you already tell us something about the project with Emil, the winner of 2016, and Arthur and Lucas Jussen? Is it also going to be in the Netherlands, your concerts?
Yes, I think so. We're playing on a tour in 2022, so in 2 years. And I think there will be a couple of concerts, probably in Amsterdam and Eindhoven for sure, and maybe some cities more. Coming up.
Something to look forward to. Alexei, you mentioned the communication, being together with fellow percussionists, the finalists of your year as well. The other aspect of being here in Eindhoven in TROMP Percussion is also to be embedded into a nice and hospitable host family. Do you still have contact with your Eindhoven host family, or what was it like back then?
I don't have contact anymore, sadly, but this was also very special for me because it gave me the opportunity to really dive into this beautiful country and communicate with the people there, and it was very nice. It's so different. It's like you're visiting in a country, and if you just see the hotel and just a concert hall, it's not the same. It's so much richer and nicer to meet the family and to talk with them about your life and reflect, and they turn out to be fan of you because they support you, and so they come to the different rounds, and then they celebrate with you, and it's amazing. So this is another very good point that it's very valuable for you attending the competition there.
Yeah. 2010, you were the winner. This is now 2020. We still look forward to who's going to win this edition of TROMP Percussion, but look a bit further towards the future together with you, Alexei. Any wishes, any perhaps predictions, or any ideas about TROMP in the future?
I hope that you become even bigger and even more important, and that the community grows more and more. And what I really love to, I mean, I watched closely every year or every 2 years how it grows and how it developed. And yes, and I think the platform and also the concerts around it becomes more and more concerts. So it's like a huge festival where like all the classical percussionists all over the world, they're like looking forward to the next thing. And so I hope for you that this grows more and more and becomes stronger, and that I will come to Eindhoven even more, and that the community just will be stronger and stronger.
Great.
Because that's what, especially this times, is so important that we connect each other.
Beautiful words, Alexei Gerasimes. Nothing to add from our side, but a big thank you very much for being here at TROMP Percussion 2020 online. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And in this series of short portraits of the winners of TROMP Percussion of the last 10 years, I'm now going to talk via internet connection with Emil Kuyumchuyan. He was the winner of TROMP Percussion 2016. Hello, Emil, how are you?
Hello, I'm fine. Very good.
Good.
You?
I'm fine too. We are here, of course, in Eindhoven. You know the location very well. Where are you now at the moment?
I'm at the moment in Laval, in west of France.
It's great to talk to you on behalf of TROMP Percussion, of course, the celebratory aspect of 50 years of TROMP. And you're one of the finalists, one of the winners of the last decade of TROMP Percussion. 2016 was your year, Emil. What was the impact afterwards of having won TROMP Percussion?
The competition is basically for me was and still a place to meet people, you know, like getting known and just to cross each other and maybe to meet for a second time and make projects. And it happened. I played with many good musicians, with many friends now, and we are still doing music together. And it changed your life in a way that the people want to hear you. The people are curious to listen what you are doing. This is the biggest impact on my life, I can say. You know.
Music as a means of communication and making music together. You mentioned the people you already met here during your year here in Eindhoven. Because I remember from presenting the finals then that you were more than just competitors with the other finalists. You were becoming friends and colleagues. Could you mention what happened then?
I mean, you exchange ideas. You meet someone who is living in a different country, who has a different culture, and also you travel with TROMP, with the occasions by TROMP. I traveled in many countries. I've been in China, I've been in Brazil. I mentioned it before, I said it before. It was a huge experience. And this is because of TROMP, because winning of TROMP.
One of the aspects of this experience is also living in host families. Nice people, of course, from Eindhoven and surroundings, being part of that family. What was it like for you, Emil?
I've been in Eindhoven many times, and I really love this city. I really love people. I mean, how they are. They are very guest friendly. And of course, my host family, they were especially very nice to me. We are very close now. It's pity that I can't come this year, but
you're still in touch.
Next time. Yeah, of course.
Right. These are exceptional times. That's also why we communicate via the internet now, and we're so happy to have you here at the TROMP Percussion. In this documentary about the last or the previous 10 years. What is life for you as a percussionist now in France? What does it look like in these special times?
Actually, I have now 3 activities. I am playing, composing, and teaching. Composing and teaching are going well, but playing is not happening anymore. I have many days which are cancelled, and we can't really organize something for the future. This is really pity. But I should continue to being creative and playing, and maybe thinking of different concepts. But for now, I think the best is a bit waiting and to see what's coming.
let's just quickly focus on composing. Any piece you're working on at the moment, what is it like?
I've composed in last 3 months a piece for solo vibraphone and a piece for marimba. And now I'm working on a piece for vibraphone and violin.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have a project to record all my piece by myself.
Great.
And because it's in a way I compose very in a classical way.
Yeah.
But I have also pieces which I improvise, and I want to combine all the qualities, all the musical sources, and to record an album.
Sounds interesting, Emile. Perhaps something for TROMP, the next edition of TROMP Percussion, one of your compositions. You never know.
Yeah, it will be good.
Yeah, and in the line of the celebratory aspect, 50 years of TROMP and something to celebrate. Anything you would like to wish to give to, for instance, Artie van der Drift and Frank Veenstra of the Muziekgebouw and the organization of TROMP Percussion? Any birthday wishes? Any wishes for the future, Emile?
First of all, I think a good health is important in these days. So for all the TROMP family, I wish a healthier life. And after, I appreciate that TROMP is a kind of avant-garde competition. I really like this aspect of TROMP. And even now with this online edition, it's a huge improvement, huge quality nowadays. And with this, I think in a short time frame, this kind of reaction is, I think it's really, really positive, you know, for the music, music industry, music world. So I hope that the TROMP continues in this kind of innovative energy.
Great words. It shows also, well, the aspects you mentioned in your own life: resilience, creativity, and flexibility, and also looking towards the future. We looked back to 2016 with you, winner of that edition of TROMP Percussion. Thank you very much, Emile.
Yeah, thank you.
And hope to see you soon here in Eindhoven in real life. Thank you.
To see you too. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Let me tell you something about money. Money's not giving you a kind of happiness or some kind of pleasure. It's just basic on the street. Some of this money and whatever you want, whatever you do, you will never have the chance to live without this.
And now it's time to zoom in on the winner of TROMP Percussion 2014, Dominique Vleeshouwers. He's here via, of course, internet connection. Hello, Dominique.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. A bit tired because we just recorded a project for TROMP actually, but for the rest it's okay.
Tell us more about the project, first of all, Dominique.
It's called Playground, and it actually started in 2016. We did some short shows also in 2016 for TROMP. We played at a club during the TROMP 16 edition. And then we started developing this further and started to research the relation between acoustic percussion or acoustic music and electronic music. And now we formed a band of 5 people with violin, electric violin, and synthesizers, and a DJ and percussion. And then we made we are making a new album which now has a kick-off during TROMP 2020.
Okay, and talking about playgrounds, Dominique, the location you're in now seems to us all like a great playground for a percussionist. Where are you at the moment?
Yeah, it's true. This is my studio.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a big setup of 6 Japanese gardens by Kaiji Sariao, which I just did a project with. And yeah, I have upstairs a lot of percussion also in storage. And I'm studying here actually every day almost.
So you're still busy, occupied, creatively managing your life in these special times. What is it like to be a percussionist in these times of COVID-19, so to say?
Well, sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's not hard because, yeah, I'm used to lock myself up in the studio and practice for a lot of days, a lot of hours. So in that case, it's the same. But there are, of course, less concerts getting cancelled. And especially that you prepare 40 hours for a piece, for instance, and then 1 week before the government says, okay, this cannot happen. And that's a kind of every time to try to find the discipline and motivation to keep on going and try to keep on reinventing ways to still make something happen. That's quite demanding.
Let's go back to 2014, the year you won TROMP Percussion here in Eindhoven, Dominique. What was the immediate and also the lasting impact of having won TROMP Percussion that year? Can you tell us something about that?
Well, for sure, traveling all over the world and meeting a lot of wonderful people and learning a lot from other percussionists, from the jury members in the different countries where we traveled. But also, yeah, just the fact that you have that prize and you can go into the world as a winner of TROMP, of course, opens also doors to different stages again.
Because TROMP is more than just a household name. It's a ticket to open doors, you say, Dominique?
Yeah, I think that as a percussionist, at least in the percussion scene, everyone knows, okay, if you won a prize in TROMP, you are one of the best percussionists in the world. And I think in the concert scene, people also are noticing it. Also on radio performances. And this time I get a lot of radio requests also, which I think is also because of TROMP, because it shows in the world that actually percussion is more, yeah, can give more. And I very much like the experimental qualities of the festival also, and to show different music styles and different ways of using percussion.
With respect to the future of TROMP Percussion, is there anything you would like to say? Any wishes? Any future predictions or future wishes for this exceptional percussion festival, Dominique?
I think it's already super great what is happening now, that there are so many people from all over the world participating and being motivated to practice more. And maybe we can even look further, like not only to the conservators, but even to the lower schools and even to the street percussionists. And how can we make this whole universe of percussion even bigger and all related to TROMP? That would be something I would be very interested in.
Great. So make it all one big interconnected percussion playground, so to say?
Yeah.
If you want, you can of course show us what you were up to after this online interview connected with one of the instruments behind you. Of course, we don't mind if you greet us from one of your percussion instruments. It's just on the spur of the moment that I sort of think about that. So feel free.
Yeah, which is quite nice actually now is that I'm studying this piece, which is written for the TROMP 2014 competition,
Yeah.
tap dance.
Yeah.
Because in the first week of December, I'm playing this piece with the Muziekgebouw Orchestra, which is a huge privilege and also shows how important the competition is, that that there are new pieces written like this to give us as players possibilities to perform here. So this is what I'm working on now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you very much for this this insightful talk. Dominique Vleeshouwers, winner of TROMP Percussion 2014. Thank you, all the best, and of course, we also hope to meet you here in live circumstances here in Eindhoven again. Thank you very much, Dominique Vleeshouwers. Bye-bye. And now it's time to zoom in on the most recent winner of TROMP Percussion, that is the winner of 2018, Kai Strobel. Welcome, Kai. How are you?
Good, I'm fine, thank you.
And Kai, could you please tell us, what was it like to win TROMP Percussion 2 years ago? What was the impact on your life as a percussionist?
I mean, basically it gave me a really big thrust, a big motivation, and also a lot of options to perform and to present myself. Basically on the frame which TROMP enabled me, and then also on the work together with the organization team of TROMP. So we were traveling really a lot and being in exchange and personal exchange about organization matters or also future planning matters, and it gave me a lot of thrust and a lot of creative space for myself, let's say. And then of course, as TROMP was happening when I won in 2018, it gave me also a lot of motivation to continue actually and to participate in RD, which happened last year.
Wow. And also, I'm curious to know, could you elaborate, tell us anything about the current project you're working on?
So like as Corona times are of course difficult for everybody of us, the actual concerts were of course all declined or postponed. The next actual concert I'm preparing now and looking forward is a solo performance with the orchestra of Erfurt in Germany, Middle Germany, where we will perform a percussion concerto, but also in frame of Corona, it's going to be performed 4 times instead of 2. So instead of in 2 days twice, we do it 4 times to get more audience. And it's going to be, if it actually happens, but I hope so, it's going to be a really big marathon for me, which I have to be, of course, prepared both mentally and physically.
Mm-hmm. And Kai, winning TROMP Percussion 2018, this is 2020. If we look a bit further into the future, anything you would like to wish or to say about TROMP Percussion in the coming years?
Well, I hope that the next edition, 2022, is going to be hopefully again live. Because although, of course, it looks like everything worked out great now online, it's still, I think, a really special occasion to do it live. And I hope for everybody to meet again in Eindhoven in 2 years from this point on.
Great, thank you very much. Kai Strobel, winner of TROMP Percussion 2018. Bye-bye. And now it's time to meet with the winner of TROMP Percussion 2012, Alexandre Espéret, live from France. Bonjour Alexandre, comment ça va?
Ça va très bien. Goed.
Great. Where are you at the moment? Because it's a really nice atmosphere at the background, in the background where you are.
Well, now I'm because in France it's locked down actually at the moment, so I'm in the countryside in Ardèche, which is close to Lyon, but in the mountains a little bit. So yeah, just to make work with no troubles aside.
No external disturbance. Focus on your work. What are you working on at the very moment?
In this moment, actually, in this moment, I'm working on the jury concert because we have an adaptation to make. Also, especially because it won't be live and it will be a video recording. I'm also working on an arrangement for my trio and on the composition that I made with Mathieu Benigno, with whom I wrote the bowl piece that I've played in the final 8 years ago. And we wrote this piece, this new piece 1 year ago, but we still have some changes to make. So yeah, I'm basically working on that right now.
Yeah. In 2012, Alexander, you were the winner of TROMP Percussion. Take us back to those days here in Eindhoven. What was it like and what was the impact of winning TROMP Percussion way back then?
Well, by then it was 2012. It was almost the end of my studies. Yeah, quite the end of my studies. It's been like 2-3 years. I was already touring, so it arrived right at the good moment where you start your real career and not a student moment. And it's actually had a big impact because within the 2 years after, I had, thanks to TROMP, or even TROMP booked me for I think 35 concerts within 2 years, and really everywhere, like Japan, Russia, Brazil, the US. So it actually helped a lot. And also in my, at that time I was kind of finding which way I wanted to give to, which path I wanted to give to my career. And it really helped because it was easier when you have gigs and everything to construct things, to try things, and yeah, to make your career look like something coherent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything, Alexander, you took with you, in particular from those lessons, is also from the international tour. Any perhaps even anecdotes or even wise lessons that have also formed you the way you are now in 2020?
One that pops up right now in my mind is that you can't play everything everywhere in front of everyone with the same success. For example, the bowl piece, which was quite successful in Eindhoven during the competition, I played it and within a recital based on the music theater. So quite not avant-garde, but kind of not usual traditional percussion. And I played it in Russia in a classical festival, and the public was kind of. I have a strange feeling about that concert. I felt like half of the audience was very, very happy, and half of it was just like, and didn't understand what I was trying to do through this. Mm-hmm. So I guess it was a good lesson to. It's not you can't expect every audience to understand what you want them to receive, to share with them.
Mm-hmm. And this
that was
year,
a good.
Sorry, Alexander.
No, that was a good lesson for me.
And this year, talking about audiences, Alexandre, there won't be a live audience during the finals. You're now part of the jury of the TROMP Percussion competition. What is it like to be part of a jury and have the finalists perform online without, well, the immediate interaction of the jury and the audience? Any observations at the moment?
Well, the audience, I think I don't. It doesn't matter much to me. It matters much for the performers, but for the jury members, I don't think it matters that much. But for the candidates, I think it's very, very disturbing because it's recording with the bad side of the recording. Like it has to be tight and clean and everything.
Yeah.
But we expect it to be still live, like they share and they just give music and not stay straight for like it's a recording. So I guess for them it's very disturbing, but for us that's okay. And I miss a bit the experience of sharing this stuff with the other jury members. Because on Zoom or Skype, it's kind of different because you don't feel the people, so it's a different experience, I guess, than a normal time. But anyway, it's still a huge chance that it still happens because nowadays, actually now, lots of things that are cancelled. So this still happens, and it's a chance for them, for me, for us to still do this. Yeah.
Another challenge to meet with, but percussionists, and you're one of them, Alexandre, are very versatile and very inventive people. Now let's look at the future of TROMP Percussion. Of course, any words of well-wishing, because the festival exists 50 years, and of course the last 10 years were devoted to percussion. Alexandre, anything you would like to wish or to say about the future of TROMP Percussion?
I wish it's just stays open-minded as it is now, because the way it's going with the artistic director and the not producer, but with Arthur van der Drift and Frank Veenstra, I think makes it quite open-minded, and really it's a chance for the percussionists that don't see the competition as something very classical, and where they can, if they have a different wish, different path they want to show, it's possible in this competition, and it's not possible everywhere. So it makes it really different, and I think that's something that has to continue, and I have good hope that it will. So
Yeah. Well, at
Yeah.
least the jury, you as a jury member, knows how to be open-minded, and also taking into account the new facets of being a percussionist in the finals now, doing the online participation, and also treading the fine line between perfectionism and also the spontaneity. Thank you very much, Alexandre, and also lots of wisdom to you and your fellow jury members in this edition of TROMP Percussion. Thank you very much. Au revoir, Alexandre.
Dank u wel.
Tot ziens.
还好吗？你有计划吗？你的梦想是什么呀？还好吗？如何啊？你的梦想是什么呀？你有计划吗？还好吗？你的梦想是什么呀？还好吗？还好吗？还好吗？还好吗？还好吗？还好吗？还好吗？还好吗？还好吗？
Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you again online or live when we are able to present the winners of TROMP Percussion 2020. And don't forget to also watch, of course, to the finals this Saturday and Sunday via TROMP Percussion 2020. Thank you.